everybody, how are you doing? I'm Margaret Marie and welcome to my channel. What I'm doing in this video is a 28-day review of the Olay Regenerist Micro Sculpting Cream. I picked up this little trial size bottle because I figured that would last for the full 28 days, and there's about 14 grams in here. In the full size jar you get 1.7 fluid ounces. The cost for a full size jar varies. I noticed on the Olay website it was like $27, whereas at Walmart you could get it for $23. My grandmother used to use the oil of Olay, and I tried it a few times, but I always found it to be tacky and drying at the same time. Alright, so before I get this open and start applying it, I'm going to go to their website and read you a little bit of information about it from there. This moisture binding formula instantly hydrates to improve elasticity for a firm and lifted look. Designed to deliver moisture 10 layers deep into the skin's surface to reveal the skin you love to flaunt for years to come. Okay, and we're going to talk about the 10-layer deal in just a second. And then it goes on to the ingredients. Okay, so having a look at the ingredients, there's both fragrances and parabens in here. However, they do offer a fragrance-free option. For hydration and anti-aging, I see niacinamide, and that's a water-soluble vitamin that helps with enlarged pores. It also smooths uneven skin and softens fine lines and wrinkles. I also see some hyaluronic acid in here, and as we know, hyaluronic acid can hold 1,000 times its weight in water, so it is a really good moisturizer. Now going way farther down on the list, I see the propylparaben. With propylparaben, the eco-toxicology concern is low, but the endocrine disruption is high on this ingredient, so I'm not real crazy about it. As far as allergy concerns go, there might be a few ingredients in here that might be concerning to you. They are the benzyl alcohol and the methylparabens. Now what I want to do is address the 10 layers deep penetration claim. The only place you have 10 layers of skin is on the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. And just to break that down so you'll see what I'm talking about, there's basically two main layers of skin, your epidermis and your dermis. Below that is a fatty layer of skin, which is subcutaneous tissue. Starting from top layer to bottom layer, you have the stratum corneum, the stratum lucidum, the stratum granulosum, the stratum spinosum, and the stratum basal. Now let's talk about the fourth layer, the stratum lucidum. This is a translucent layer, and this is a layer of skin that only exists on the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. So on your face, you do not have that layer of skin. Okay, so far that is 6 layers of skin. The second layer of skin, the dermis, is split into 2 parts. The papillary dermis, which is a thin upper layer of skin, and then you have the reticular dermis, which is the thick lower layer of skin. Okay, so that adds 2 more sublayers. Okay, so counting so far, that's 2 main layers and 4 sublayers. And then you have 2 more sublayers in the dermis. Now let's get to below the dermis, where you have the subcutaneous tissue. This is the innermost layer of skin. This layer is mostly made up of fat, connective tissue, nerves, and larger blood vessels. So if you want to go ahead and count that subcutaneous layer as a layer, that will give us a total of 9 layers. So as you can see, the only way that you can have 10 layers of penetration is if you put it on your hands, which is on the palms of your hands, or on the soles of your feet. I always like to clear this matter up with my viewers because I think it's kind of false advertising to make that kind of a claim. I don't feel a product should be able to penetrate beyond the dermis and into your blood vessels where they can disrupt your internal systems. Okay, so now that I've given you all that information and we know a little bit about the product and the ingredients and a few of the claims, now it's time to sample this. To start off with, I'm going to go ahead and get a really good amount on my face. The consistency of this is pretty thick. Start massaging this into my face. It is penetrating into my skin pretty fast. Looking over here in my mirror, I can see that my face does look a little bit brighter. Now let's check the elasticity. It does bounce back pretty fast. When I come back in 28 days, we'll see if it bounces back any faster. And that's where we can really see if there is a difference. Alright, so I'm going to let this sit on my face for just a little bit, let it get totally dry, let it totally soak in, and then what I'm going to do is apply a primer and a foundation, and let's see how it wears under makeup. Okay, my face feels dry enough now to go ahead and apply the primer and the foundation. I do notice it still feels a little tacky, so we'll see how this works out. This NYX Photo Loving Primer, and I'm going to apply this with my fingers because that'll prevent any peeling. For foundation, I'm going to use the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue. Okay, and I'm going to apply this with the brush. I have the foundation on and I'm not really pleased with the results. I'm not really sure if this is going to work out as far as being a moisturizer that I can use under makeup. I am going to use this every single day though for the 28 days, regardless of whether I wear makeup or not. I'm not going to use any other moisturizer except for this. I'm not even going to use any of my serums. I'm just going to wait for the 28 days and just see what this cream does all by itself. The date today is Friday, February 11th. I will be back in 28 days with before and after photos. We'll see if the Olay Microsculpting Cream is worth the $27 price tag. All right, I'm back, and as you can see, the date today is Friday, March 11th. It's been 28 days of using the Olay Microsculpting Cream, and as you can see, it is all gone. I used the very last bit of it this morning. So the first thing that we're going to do is look at the before and after pictures. So what I have right here is the before and after pictures on my monitor. What I'm going to do is look at the pictures and then I'm going to put them up on the screen for you so we can both look at them together. Okay, so looking at the before and after pictures of the front view, the first thing that I noticed is that my marionette lines were a little bit softer. I also noticed a little bit of softening around the lines right here and there. As far as my forehead lines go, they look a tiny bit softer. I also notice all the little pigmentation spots that I have all over my cheeks and my nose. They are faded just a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to put the side picture up for you to see. And looking at my monitor, you can definitely see a slight softening in the marionette line right here. And a definite softening of the wrinkle right here. I don't see any improvement on my crow's feet right in through here. My skin does seem to look a little bit brighter in this picture. Okay, now on to the next picture. On the picture on the other side of my face, I'm noticing the same thing. The marionette line is a little bit softer, and this line right here is also softer as well. As far as the hyperpigmentation spot on my nose, it's just slightly faded, maybe just a little bit. I noticed that the lines right here on this side are also a little bit faded. Okay, so those are the before and after pictures, and you can see that yes, it definitely did make a little bit of difference in my lines. It softened up the hyperpigmentation a little bit, and it did soften up my forehead lines. Now I'm going to look at the bounce back test. I've got my mirror right here, so let's see. It seems to me like it bounces back maybe just a little more quickly than it did before the 28 days. All right, now I want to get into a few other things about this cream. Now, as far as the feel of it and how it wore, it was still the same experience that I had with the oil of Olay of my grandmother's. I noticed that my skin did soak it all in, but it still left it feeling kind of tacky and dry at the same time. For super dry, mature skin like mine, this just isn't enough moisture for me. Now, I'm not saying my skin was like bone dry, it just wasn't at all dewy. I think this product would be better suited for somebody with oily skin as opposed to dry, mature skin like mine. Now, if I were to continue using the Olay Microsculpting Cream, I would have to add a lot of serums and a lot of facial oils to go with it. Even though I did get noticeable results, I have a problem with some of the ingredients in here. Out of the 42 ingredients that are in this formulation, 2 of them are of high concern to me. There were 10 other ingredients in there that were of moderate concern. The rest of the ingredients were okay, but 12 out of the 42 ingredients were of a concern, and that's just a little bit much for me. So the big question is for this sample, this video, would I purchase the full-size bottle of the Olay Microsculpting Cream? My answer is no. There's just too many chemicals in this formulation that would disrupt my hormones. They're not good for the planet, and I would prefer something a little more natural. Now, I'm going to keep using my hyaluronic acid and my different serums, but as far as a face cream for the day use, this is not going to be the one for me. Okay, so that is my 28-day review of the Olay Regenerist Microsculpting Cream. You guys all have a really good rest of your day. You take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.